Hey y'all. All right. First of all, I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers, new and old. Huge thank you. I really do seriously appreciate it. I would also like to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I am a father myself, surprisingly, and so it's my Father's Day too. But instead of like watching like a boatload of TV or something like that, I wanted to do something a little more productive, spend my time a little more productively. So I decided to come out here in the garage and share with you all something I'm doing. Um, Come on over here, show you. Let's see. Let's get this camera flipped around too. Okay. Now I'm cleaning up some parts. Of course, I'm always cleaning up parts, it seems like. But you see all of this? Look how good this looks. Look at that. Look how nice that looks. And look how clean. And I mean, I've got some more. Here's, yeah, I cleaned all of this stuff. I've had this stuff sitting in like some soap solution for like 3 or 4 days. And I pressure washed all of it this morning. And I'll show you how I do all of that. This right here come out especially fantastic. Let me explain something, okay? I think it's really awesome when people go and they build an engine and, you know, they can afford the money to like replace all of this factory hardware. You know, it's pretty cool when they can afford to do that. But when they are doing that, I'm thinking to myself, a lot of the OEM hardware, not all of it, but a lot of the OEM hardware is really, really good. And especially if you're not building something with super high horsepower or something like that, you know, it's not really necessary. I mean, if you're building like a stalker or you're building something maybe that's just slightly breathed on, hence my 360, is it really necessary to have, you know, ARP rod bolts and all ARP fastening hardware everywhere, or maybe stainless steel fasteners on the outside of the engine? One little tip about stainless steel is you have to use some sort of anti-seize with it, or it will seize up, and that is it. It is done for. Okay, believe me, I know. Um, so if you're like me, you don't have a lot of money to spend on stuff like that, and you'd rather spend your money on go fast parts that make horsepower, instead of spending your money on trinkets and gadgets and stuff that make it pretty. My uncle was a race car driver, and he said something. He said, "Pretty don't make it go any faster." He said, "Pretty don't make it," and he's right. So thank you, Leon. So anyway, I this is a result of that. So yeah, you could spend the money and you could get some really nice hardware from somebody and stuff like that. And really, in this day and age, I'm a little leery of it because of there's so much stuff coming from China and all these other places where they're assembling, their standards of manufacturing may not be that great. Uh, so also too, if you're ordering it right now, with the delays in ordering and you know supply delays and everything like that, it's just it's pretty crazy. I would feel really, I just I don't think it'd be a really good idea. So I'm going to stick with the factory original hardware. I've already got most all of the hardware cleaned up, or all of the hardware cleaned up for that engine. Um, but I thought it would be a great idea to show you all how I clean this stuff up and make it look as good as that stuff out there on the table. Okay, so first you're going to need to use some sort of strong concentrated soap like cleaner, degreaser, type cleaner. There's several different kinds. There's LA's Totally Awesome. There's Simple Green. There's Grease Lightning. There's a bunch of different ones out there. They all work really, really well. There's also Super Clean. Um, there's a lot of really good ones out there. So I don't. If you're going to do it, use something pretty darn good. I have, just as a side note, I have tried like laundry detergent and just didn't work out too well. So, but if you're gonna you just want to use some sort of really good soap like that, super strong concentrated soap like that. Then you're going to want to use some sort of container. I like using these little Tupperware style type containers. Okay. Now, also I've used this stuff in containers like this. This was full of the solution. I drained it all off. It's now in a bug sprayer that I'm going to use for some more cleaning of some bigger parts. But then I take these parts and I throw them in here, and you'll see why in just a minute. Then next, get my pressure washer hooked up, and then I start working on this stuff. Let's see. Let's see here. Let you all see what's going on. Okay. I'm trying to get you all at a good camera angle so you can see, and also so you can see what's happening here. But also so the glare isn't too much of a problem too. So the glare is going to be a bit of an issue here right now. So let's see here. Okay, I think this is pretty good right here. Yeah, this is pretty good. Just turn this here. Okay, now. Let's see. A big improvement there. Yeah, big improvement. Now, I do want you to keep in mind that the soap solution I've been using is somewhat compromised. Quite a bit compromised actually. But you can see the threads are nice and clean, mostly for the most part. And you can see that Yeah, I mean, these are looking pretty good, and they've only been sitting in the solution for maybe 4 or 5 hours. And like I said, the solution was pretty used up. So, the concentrated soap was pretty well used up when these went in there, and they've only been in there, put them in there this morning. So, they turned out pretty nice actually. They need a little more cleaning, but you can see that, we still got some crud on the heads, and still got a little bit of crud on the threads, but from where they started out to now, it's pretty good. Now, maybe a little more time soaking, those would be looking like the rest of that stuff over there. Also, maybe a little more, a solution that was not so compromised might work even better. I even went so far as to put this brake pedal or brake and clutch pedal cover, rubber cover on that, and see how it does. Let's see. Okay. Now the pressure washer, reason I'm using this is because, well, a lot of people have got one these days, and they're not terribly expensive anymore. But you can see that turned out pretty nice. So, anyway, let me show you a couple of bolts I just put in to some cleaning solution. Soap. A concentrated soap like I'm talking about. Let's see. Right here. Okay, yeah. See that? That's what that one looks like. So that's like fresh from the engine. Or that's the way it looks anyway. So what you can do, you can clean that stuff up and then reuse it. And reuse it on your projects and save yourself a boatload of money by doing that, because you start pricing stuff like that out, even like Summit Racing or Jegs or something like that, it gets kind of pricey. And then again, like I said, if you can spend that money on, some other part of the engine, camshaft, carburetor, headers, sure, that money wouldn't pay for those parts outright, but it can go towards those parts. Okay, so you see where I'm going. But next, I'm going to be doing the checking the cylinder heads, checking the intake and intake runner volume and exhaust runner volume, and see how good or bad I did on the porting job. Okay, and we'll see where I'm at on that. Okay, and I will try to compare it with, like, say, some cylinder heads that, some aftermarket cylinder heads, like maybe Edelbrock or something like that, or maybe even a W2, which I know those will probably way outflow what I've got, but it would be nice to see some sort of comparison there. Is my work, worth the trouble? What I'm doing, is it worth it? So, all right, I'm going to end this video. But all of this cleaning stuff I'm doing here, this can be done on virtually any engine or any project, okay? And you can do the same thing with any of the engine parts. I've been doing the same thing, and I've mentioned this on several of my videos in the past, but I feel like this is information that's worth passing along. And you can get this soap like that, the Simple Green or the Grease Lightning or any of these brands, whichever you prefer. You can get it virtually anywhere. I mean, there's hardware, they sell it at hardware stores and everywhere. So it just depends on where you want to get it at and what you want to do. Okay. So anyway, all right, I've got a little bit of a mess to clean up, and then I'm going to set up for my next video over here on the cylinder heads, and then I'm going to be also bolting some cylinder heads on to my 360, finally. And I will be making a video about that too as well. So I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you all for subscribing, of course. And thank you all for the likes and the shares. But if you have any questions or comments or ideas about any of this stuff, put it down below. Okay? Thank you very much. God bless.